Take a seat in the driver's position so that you can prepare the train for this introduction. You'll be completing a full loop of the circuit and performing passenger operations when you reach the next stop. Prepare the train for departure. To unlock the control desk, you'll need to insert and set the master key. The reverser is used to determine the direction of travel. Set the headlights, as this will let others around you know that this train is operational. To begin loading passengers, you'll need to open the passenger doors. It's time to depart. Close the passenger doors. This train features a combined power and brake handle. So, to get the train moving, move the handle into the power range. Coasting is a method used to Keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin overspeeding, apply a small amount of braking force by moving the power handle into the braking range. First introduced in September 2019, the Class 801s were built as a replacement for the aging Intercity 125 and 225 sets, which were the primary trains used on the East Coast Main Line at the time. The Class 801 fleet were designed as purely electric multiple units. However, they feature a single 560 kilowatt diesel engine fitted to one of the coaches for emergency use. This 9-car variant of the class has a maximum power output of over 4,500 kilowatts and has a maximum operating speed of 124 miles per hour. You're now approaching the station, so prepare to slow down the train. Use the power handle to apply some braking force to bring the train to a gentle stop in the indicated position. Now that the train has stopped, you can open the passenger doors. Good work. That concludes all the basics of operating this train. Welcome to your first day as a trainee driver here on the East Coast Main Line. First opened by the Great Northern Railway in 1850, Peterborough is a vital station on the East Coast Main Line network. This station acts as a major interchange and serves the north and south mainline traffic, as well as long distance and local east and west services. There's a missing route map over there. Fix that while you're here. There are more tasks to find, so be sure to apply the route maps. Refill water bottles, restock newspaper stands, and restock the first aid points. Head of Driver and Passenger Experience, Emily Turner, would like to speak to you. Follow the map. Take a seat anywhere you like. Throughout the years, Peterborough Station has had several different names. Originally just called Peterborough, it was later renamed Peterborough Priestgate, then to Peterborough Cowgate in 1902, before reverting back to simply Peterborough in 1911. During the 1970s, major alterations occurred to this station under British Rail. The track layout was remodelled to provide high-speed through lines and 2 new platforms. The original bay and through platforms were removed, and a brand new platform were built to the west of the fast lines. In 2014, Network Rail spent around £2.5 million on the station and its surroundings, with the intention of increasing passenger capacity on trains and ease the movement of freight through the station. This upgrade has also seen changes to the booking office and station concourse building, along with the introduction of ticket gates. A unique feature of this route is the flashing green signal aspect, used to trial 140 miles per hour running. Although today this speed is usually not permitted, the signal aspect remains. This train is a BR Class 801 electric multiple unit in LNER livery. They were first introduced in 2019 and were built to operate the high-speed express services across the network. As a trainee driver on this route, you will drive this train as well as the BR Class 66 freight locomotive. Accelerate and feel the high-speed thrill of British intercity travel in Train Sim World. Express services await on the iconic East Coast Main Line, so hurry through the English countryside between Peterborough and Doncaster in sleek and flashy traction.
This is Dewsbury on the North Transpennine Railway. Follow the markers over the footbridge to catch the train. Northern Transpennine offers the ability to ride and drive both passenger and freight trains during a rundown, bygone era of British rail history. This Class 101 diesel mechanical multiple unit features a geared transmission, meaning the driver must throttle off, change gear and then throttle up again to reach higher speed. TrainSim World allows you to ride and drive trains from a selection of internal Other internal and external camera views are available to be explored. These can be accessed from the number keys. You've only travelled a short distance here, so let's take a look at what else there is to enjoy. Take a trip back in time to the early 80s. Visit Manchester, Victoria before modernisation began. Travel up steep gradients and through the Pennines via Stanage Tunnel. Enjoy amazing views as you descend down to Huddersfield and continue onward through the equally impressive Morley Tunnel before finally arriving into the city of Leeds, which also features period-accurate station architecture. Along the way, you'll need to deliver newspaper bundles, clear away fallen logs, place route maps in stations and update the local advertising posters. Welcome to Northern Transpennine.
Welcome to this Class 101 diesel mechanical multiple unit in British Rail blue and grey livery. This brief introduction will cover startup, stopping and passenger boarding. A lot of time will be spent in the cab, so climb aboard to get started. The main switch is used to activate the control desk. Marker lights are used to inform others around that this train is active. This DMU has 4 engines across the whole unit, all of which need to be started. The rear of the train must be set up manually for each journey. Head over there now. Red marker lights are used to signify that this is the rear of the operational train. This unit is now ready to go. Head back to the lead cab. Give a quick glance at the platform to ensure all is safe, then unlock the doors. Use the reverser to set the direction of travel. This train features a gear system similar to cars on the road. To attain, the brakes on this train act like a water tap. The higher the setting, the faster the train will stop. Open the valve to select the desired pressure, then close it again to maintain that pressure. Increase the throttle to start moving. Do not apply too much power too quickly. It's important to provide a smooth ride for passengers. Up ahead, the maximum permitted speed will increase. As it does, it will be appropriate to increase to the next gear and the train will accelerate further. The process of changing gear has several steps. Reduce the engine RPM by setting the throttle to idle. Engage the new gear, then return to the desired throttle application. Let's try. To cruise at a constant speed, the highest gear should be engaged. This reduces the speed the engine operates at and is fuel efficient. Let's stop at the next station. The key aspect is to make a gentle, controlled approach. Stopping a train in the right place is the greatest skill of a train driver. It may take a few attempts to get it right. Depending on the speed of the train, begin braking between 1.5 and 1 mile from the station. The brake control on this train opens a vacuum, releasing pressure holding the brakes off the wheels. To maintain a specific pressure, close this valve by setting the handle to the lapped position. Aim to be doing no more than 25 miles per hour when the train reaches the platform. Then come to a stop anywhere alongside. Well done. Practice makes perfect. Give a quick glance at the platform to ensure all is safe, then unlock the doors. Good work. That is the basics covered. A manual can also be obtained that provides more detail about the full functionality of this train and more.
Welcome to this Class 101 3-car diesel mechanical multiple unit in British Rail blue and grey livery. This brief introduction will cover startup, stopping and passenger operations. Before getting started, some of the controls must be set in the rear. Red lights are used to signify that this is the rear of the operational train. While the brakes in the lead vehicle hold the train, set this brake as indicated. Everything's now set up, so head to the front of the train to continue preparations. When ready, sit in the driver's seat. The control circuit key is used to activate the driver's desk. White lights will indicate to anyone around that this is the front of the operational train. This train features 2 engines in each driving vehicle. Start the engines in this vehicle. Now start the engines in the rear vehicle. Give a quick glance of the platform to ensure all is safe, then unlock the doors. Now use the reverser to set the direction of travel. It's time to move. Set the handbrake as indicated. This train features a gear system similar to cars on the road. To attain higher speeds, the brakes on this train act like a water tap. The higher the setting, the faster the train will stop. Open the valve to select the desired pressure, then close it again to maintain that pressure. increase the throttle to start moving. Do not apply too much power too quickly. It's important to provide a smooth ride for passengers. The process of changing gear has several steps. Set the throttle to idle and allow the engine RPM to reduce below the yellow zone. Engage the new gear, then return to the desired throttle application. Let's try. Observe that the train now has the ability to accelerate to a higher speed. When the RPM dial reaches the top of the yellow zone, repeat the gear change process to continue accelerating. Stopping a train in the right place is the greatest skill of a driver. It may take a few attempts to get it right. The brake control on this train opens a vacuum, releasing pressure holding the brakes off the wheels. To maintain a specific pressure, close this valve by setting the handle to the lapped position. Aim to be doing no more than 15 miles per hour when the train reaches the platform. Then come to a stop anywhere alongside. Good work. That's the basics covered. A manual can also be obtained that provides more detail about the full functionality of this train and more.
Welcome to today's Class 158 Express Sprinter practical training session. Let's start from the beginning. First, a walk around. Got to check if the exterior looks good. Check the horn. If it is broken, make sure you have wipers. Now let's head to the first platform and practice stopping at stations. Good stop. Do a couple more like that and you'll be out on the main line in no time.
This module will cover the on-screen overlay, known as the heads-up display or HUD, that is shown when you are in control of a train. Climb up the ladder into the train and then sit in the indicated seat. Welcome to the most important seat in the train. While sitting here, you'll be in full control. Before you think about moving the train, though, let's look at the HUD overlay that's appeared on the bottom right. The heads-up display is a guide to what your train is doing. The main part of the HUD is the speed display. A white bar will appear around the outside to show your current speed, and the red mark indicates your maximum permitted speed. This is the direction display. An arrow will indicate forward, reverse, and neutral directions. This is the power display. A number will indicate what position the power or throttle control is in. These are the brake indicators. The exact ones shown will vary by train and will often be visible in the train itself on various gauges. They tell you what's happening in the braking system. The most important one is the BC or brake cylinder. If that's reading 0, then your brakes are released. Anything else, and brakes are applied and you won't be able to move. Every train can have small variations in the HUD unique to the way it works, but they will mostly look the same. As you learn to control new trains, study the HUD and learn how it helps you operate it. If you want to see this again, you can rerun this training module at any time. In this training module, you're going to look at making the train move, and then bringing it to a stop again. While many trains have different controls and are operated in different ways, there are basically always 3 controls that are common and are required to move the train. The reverser sets the direction between forwards and backwards. The brakes are used to slow or stop the train. The throttle controls how fast the train accelerates. In this train, the throttle and brakes are controlled by a combined power and brake handle. we want to move the train forward. Pull the power brake handle toward you to release the brakes and apply power. Now that you've reached your target speed, you can move the throttle control back to 0. The train will then coast on level ground, and the train will only slow down very gradually. While the specifics of operating brakes vary from train to train, the basic process of stopping is fundamentally the same. Bring this train to a complete stop by moving the power brake handle into the braking range. The amount of braking you'll need to apply also varies depending on whether you're going uphill or downhill, and how heavy your train is. Stopping a train is one of the biggest challenges of controlling them, particularly stopping them in the right place. That concludes this module. Restart the module to learn the steps again, or move on to the next module. In this training module, you'll be learning basic passenger operations in a BR Class 323 electrical multiple unit. When you are ready, climb aboard the train. Take a seat in the driver's position. To unlock the control desk, insert the master key. Great work! To allow passengers to board, you will need to open the doors. Now that the passengers have boarded the train, close the doors. Set the reverser to forward. Apply power to get moving. This train has a combined brake and throttle handle. Apply a small amount of brake to gently bring the train to a stop at the next station. Good work. Close the doors. Reach the next destination unguided. Great job. That concludes training on passenger operations. In this training module, you will be learning how to change driving ends of a train. During this brief introduction, you will be taken through how to set up a cab for driving, shut down a cab, and how to change which train cab is the lead. Firstly, we need to set up this cab for driving. Apply some power to get moving. When ready, apply a small amount of braking force to gently bring this train to a stop. Set the brake throttle handle to neutral. Well done. You have successfully shut down this cab. Now travel to the cab at the other end of the train. Sit in the driver's seat. Now activate the new cab for driving, following the same steps as before. Well done. You now know how to change ends in a train. That concludes this training module. This module will go over the fundamentals of operating junctions to change the path your train will take, and how to navigate using the map. Most rail lines around the world are controlled remotely by a signaling center or dispatcher. From the perspective of the train, the direction taken is automatic. But within yards and depots, many small and frequent movements are required. This makes remote control of the track impractical. In these locations, the direction taken is manually controlled. You can set junctions by either walking up to them and interacting with them, or going to the 2D map and changing them from there. Let's change this junction by hand first. Walk over to it and change it by operating the lever. Notice how the point blades move on the track. Try moving it a few times so that you can see how it works. Let's head over to the train, and then we can look at the map. Open the map and change the indicated junctions. Your junctions are set correctly. Let's get the train moving and see it all working. If you can't remember how to make the train start and stop, there is a training module you can rerun to remind yourself. We want to move the train forwards, so move the reverser to that position. Now that you've reached your target speed, you can move the throttle control back to 0. The train will then coast on level ground, and the train will only slow down very gradually. Bring this train to a complete stop by moving the power brake handle into the braking range. That concludes this module. All the junctions in the training center are manual, so you can go anywhere you wish using the map and by changing junctions manually. If you want to practice, go to Explore on Foot in the training center. You'll find trains dotted around, and you can practice driving them and moving them around the yard. Don't forget, you can always rerun this training module later if you can't remember any of what's been covered.
Welcome to Bromsgrove, located in Worcestershire in the West Midlands of England. This station originally opened in 1840 as part of the Birmingham-Gloucester Railway, although it was rebuilt in 1969 and then again in 2016. Shortly after, in 2018, electrification work was completed and this station became a southern terminus for Birmingham's Cross City Line. There's a missing route map over there. Let's fix it while you're here. There are more tasks to discover. Be sure to apply route maps, refill the planters, sample the chocolate, and dress the bears. Wait on the platform. Your train will arrive shortly. The Cross City Line is a consolidation of different lines built between 1837 and 1885. The oldest section of this line is Duddeston, originally Vauxhall, to Aston, where it was part of the Grand Junction Railway. In the 1970s, work began to join services from the north and south of Birmingham into one line to better serve the city. This involved building a new station at the University of Birmingham and reopening Five Ways Station, which had been closed since 1944. Work was completed in 1978 at a cost of £7.4 million and the Cross City Line was born. This section, known as Lickey Incline, is the steepest sustained mainline railway incline in Great Britain. It runs for 2 miles at an average gradient of 2.65%. When it first opened, extra banking locomotives would be needed for the climb. Today, all but the heaviest of freight trains can make the climb unassisted. In Birmingham Cross City, you can climb onto one of the most unique modern trains in Britain, delve into dense commuter operations and explore West Midlands territory, including the famed Lickey Incline. This is TrainSim World, Birmingham Cross City. In this training module, you'll be taken through the operation of a Class 323 EMU. During this brief introduction, we will go Take a seat in the driver's position. This is where you'll be spending most of your time. To unlock the control desk, insert the master key and set it to on. The train features a combined power and brake controller. Pull the lever towards you to release brakes and get moving. Travel around the circuit and make your way to the next stop where we will practice passenger operations. The British Rail Class 323 is an electric multiple unit passenger train designed by Hunslet TPL. 43 train sets were constructed between 1992 and 1995, 26 of which went into operation on the Birmingham Cross City line. These units are known for their distinctive gear change whine when accelerating and braking. This is caused by a gate turn-off thyristor-based inverter. We're now approaching the platform. Apply a small amount of brake force to come to a gentle stop. In normal operation, passenger doors are controlled by the train guard. In this training tutorial, you will operate the doors. Now close the doors. Make your way to the next platform in the circuit unguided. Good work. That concludes all the basics of operating this train. In this training module, you'll be learning how to drive a BR Class 323 electric multiple unit. During this brief introduction, you'll be taken through the critical driving controls and performing passenger operations. When you're ready, climb aboard. Take a seat in the driver's position. This is where you'll be spending most of your time. For this introduction, you'll be completing a full loop of the circuit and performing passenger operations when you reach the next stop. Let's prepare the train for departure. The reverser is used to determine the direction of travel. Set the headlights for normal operation. This will let others around you know that this train is operational. To begin loading passengers, you'll need to open the passenger doors. It's time to depart. Close the passenger doors. To get the train moving, apply some power using the combined power brake handle. Keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin overspeeding, apply a small amount of braking force by moving the power handle into the braking range. These electric multiple units were first built in 1992 by Hunslet Transportation Projects and Holek. The class first entered active service in 1994 and were designed to operate around Birmingham and Manchester. The 323 class were amongst the last trains to enter service with British Rail before its privatisation in the mid-1990s. A total of 43 sets were built, with construction ending in 1995. Today, all of the sets built still remain in operation, with 26 being owned by West Midlands Trains and 17 being operated by Northern Trains. This class has a maximum power output of over 1500 kilowatts and has a top speed of 90 miles per hour. You're approaching the station. Let's prepare the train to slow down. Now that the train has stopped, you can open the passenger doors. Good work. That concludes all the basics of operating this locomotive.